Okay. Why has nobody taken it upon themselves to mail me a new package of matches? Like, why? I take time to complain on the last videos I've done that these matches suck. Previously endorsed no more. And yet nobody took it upon themselves to send me matches. And then I start to think, can you mail matches? Can you mail matches? Because if you can, please, this is a cry for help. Desperate cry for desperate help. It's time for State of the YOB. Alright, it's State of the YOB, which means we are not lighting this flippin' candle today. Please send me matches. P.O. Box 843, Asheville, North Carolina 28802. If you can clear the postal service, that would be fantastic. I would be so grateful. In any case, my name is Tom. I'm the co-founder and editor of Your Other Brothers. We're a community navigating faith, homosexuality, and masculinity together. This is State of the YOB. It's our monthly look back on everything that happened with Your Other Brothers, from our blog to our podcast to our video channel, and potentially anything in between. I'm trying to think what the in-between would be. So let's get right to it with our blogs from the month of February 2019. Starting with our culminating post, our ultimate post in this series from Marshall, what I learned from my midlife crisis. He's been blogging for the last few months about the midlife crisis that he experienced years ago, moving from the East Coast to the West Coast, to the East Coast to the West Coast, back to the East Coast. A lot of miles racked up, which speaks to me as somebody who just is in love with travel and new experience and new chapters and seasons of life. Check out this post from Marshall. I know we have a lot of older people reading and watching, people who either have experienced the midlife crisis, or maybe you feel like you're in the throes of one right now, or you feel like the tendrils of one forming right now. Take it from Marshall as somebody that I know personally and am blessed to call my brother. A lot of wisdom in that man. And then from Eugene, who, big shout out to Eugene. I don't give enough shout outs to Eugene. Does all the artwork for his posts. He wrote a post called Fitness for the Fearful Gay Man. And it talks about his personal fitness journey as somebody who had some health issues and some body issues years ago and decided to say enough and kind of take some control and establish a routine. And I know for me, gyms, locker rooms, weight rooms, like all of that, so intimidating, so foreign to me. It is not my cup of tea. It is not my natural habitat. But over the years, as I've joined gyms, as I've gotten into workout rhythms, and then quit workout rhythms, and then restarted workout rhythms, I have been so blessed in that part of my journey. Like, of course, there's emotions and spirituality and sexuality, and there's all this stuff that we have to deal with, but the simple act of taking care of your body, making it stronger, treating yourself as worthy of being better and stronger, has so many mental and emotional benefits far beyond the physical. I just joined CrossFit last month. Yes, CrossFit. And it's done wonders for the other aspects of my being, not just my physical body. My brother Dean, he wrote a post called Physical Affection, Ruins of Friendship. And he's in a series as well about talking about a codependent relationship from years ago, and a friendship, a relationship that he still bears a lot of regret and anxiety over. His first post in the series was about codependency, and this kind of builds on that. The next level of codependency and this obsession with physical affection. We have a lot of physically affectionate people in this community, and physical affection is a great thing. I'm a physically affectionate person myself. And it can be a blessing and it can be a curse. It can be something that you use for good, or like a lot of things in life, it can be something that you use for not good. Check out how Dean was in the early stages of this codependent relationship and facing this dilemma, this situation with physical affection, how it affected a friend, how it affected his friend's family as well. It was a big to-do. And then I, Tom, the one without suitable matches. Let's throw my address up on the screen one more time. I wrote a post this month. It was called, I Hate Being a Sensitive Man. who feels things. And Eugene actually wrote a post recently, The Joys and Sorrows of Being a Sensitive Man, a Highly Sensitive Man. This one was more so sorrow than joy. I have had, to just cut to the chase, I have had my most emotional year that I've ever had. Some really low lows. I guess, to be fair, some highs as well, but some of the lowest lows I've experienced my entire life, certainly in my adult life. And it's been rough. It's been really hard. There have been times where I just am like, why can't I be a bro who doesn't feel things, or who chooses to ignore feeling things, and somehow able to like make that switch in his heart to just not feel things, intentionally or otherwise. Whether it's like losing myself in video games, or I wrote in the post, female pornography, or fantasy football leagues, or what have you. Like, can I just find some kind of outlet, healthy or otherwise, so that I just don't have to feel anymore? Because it seems like no matter what I try to do, I can't escape my emotions. I can't escape my heart. It's there, it's following me wherever I go. And maybe you guys can resonate with that. Maybe you're also just a super emotional, super sensitive person. And as a man, there's such a stigma against that. Like, just, there's that be a man mentality and just get over it. Get over it. Believe me, I wish I could. I wish I could just turn off the 7 or 8 things that have burdened me over the last year and just not feel the feelings that I feel anymore. But it's not that easy, and it's comforting to know that I'm not the only one wired that way, because it's tempting to think that I am. And I think there's a balance too, of not necessarily getting over it, but working through it. Absolutely. Check out my post if that hits home. And then finally, to wrap up February in our blog, my favorite conversation that we've ever had. This month we talked about Boy Erased, and it was a conversation called Sobering and Necessary, our response to the movie. So we all saw it. We all saw the movie Boy Erased. Some of us have read the book, some of us haven't. I personally haven't read the book yet. Definitely want to. But watching this movie, and I filmed a video on my channel, and I'll put a link to it below, but the movie that has by far messed me up the most of all time, like the movie that I just like wept barrels of tears after watching it. And I have a lot, like I said, I have a lot going on in my life. It's been an emotional year, and I think this movie just kind of helped flare those things a little more. So maybe if I was in a better place in life right now, maybe the movie wouldn't have really barreled in to me as much as it did. Nonetheless, the movie itself was sobering, it was heavy, it was convicting, and it shed a lot of light on an area, reparative therapy, conversion therapy. It goes by several names. That's a world that I know very little, if hardly anything, about. And so it shed a lot of light on this like bizarre subworld of Christianity, this like spin-off universe of Christianity that I just haven't been familiar with, as being somebody in a sub-world of Christianity, in this like SSA, LGBT Christian gathering. We talk about all kinds of things. We talk about our favorite scenes from the movie, our immediate reactions, how we saw ourselves in the movie, because we saw ourselves in various different aspects of the main character and his upbringing and his experiences throughout the film. I would encourage any believer, any Jesus follower, any person in ministry, certainly, to go see this movie and to just be a little more educated and a little more aware of this dark part of our story. Speaking for myself and this Your Other Brothers community, as someone trying to like navigate this third road of not becoming affirming in my theology, but also not wanting to change my sexuality, not believing that it needs to be changed, and trying to walk this third road of obedience to Christ with the cards, with the hand that I was dealt. Going over to our podcast, we have a public podcast every month and a private podcast every month. Starting with our public podcast, it was episode 46 of the YOB cast, and it was called Church Inclusion, where we brought on a pastor, actually Ryan, one of our authors, his pastor, one of his pastors, and the one that oversees his ministry that he leads here in North Carolina. Pastor Matt was on the show, and we got to talk to him about church and ministry and inclusion for people who experience same-sex attraction, for LGBT people in the church. Really great. It was cool to hear his story, his meeting Ryan and their relationship, learning more about that, and then also just hearing his heart and his perspective as a straight man in ministry. The bonus of that was that he does an amazing Jesus voice that may or may not have been part of some viral YouTube videos back in the day. And getting him to use the weird Jesus voice was absolutely delectable. I ate it up and I want more. Please, Matt, come back and give us more. Our bonus podcast that we put out every month, the YOB log, just for our Patreon supporters, and it's a behind the scenes look on all of our YOBcast episodes, featuring voicemail messages from our listeners, feedback, comments on the blog, as well as bloopers and bonus content that we can't fit into the regular episodes. So if any of that sounds appealing and you want to become a YOBber, or you just want to at least learn about it, go to patreon.com/yourotherbros. All the information is there. And then our video for this month that I put out was called It's Okay for Men to Cry. I don't know if I've made this clear yet in this video, but it's been an emotional few months for me. And tears have been flowing more regularly, more deeply than they ever have. And it's okay. It's okay for men to cry. And that whole video stems back from the shortest verse in the Bible in John, when Jesus visits the tomb of Lazarus, his dear friend who's been dead for days now, sees all the weeping and mourning around him, that this was a clearly beloved person in the community. And Jesus just weeps. And he allows himself to feel his human emotions, and he allows others to see him cry as well. No shame, no hiding, no delay. So check out our video if you're a sensitive person, if you're somebody prone to crying, and you feel any kind of shame, any level of shame whatsoever about that, of being a man who's sensitive, a man who cries, check out that video, and I hope it's a blessing for you. So that's going to do it for State of the YOB February edition. Just going to throw it out there again. I need more matches. I have plenty of tea. Let me make this clear. The tea quotient is good. Got plenty of tea. What I need is matches. So do a little Google, do a little research, see if you can send matches in the mail, because I honestly have no idea, and I don't want you to be arrested because you send like weapons in the government mail system. So please don't get arrested on my behalf. I mean, I suppose I could just go to the local Walmart and get some matches myself. This is moments where y'all can shine. So I'm gonna end this now. Yeah, that was February. February is a fantastic month. Let's keep it going. Let's keep yobbing.